Hi everyone, I'm Ray Scott, affiliated with the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina here in Pembroke, North Carolina, and we're making a macaroni salad. But we're going to be using elbow macaroni, we're going to be using bell pepper, onions, tomato, cucumber, mayonnaise, Dogfennel, this was foraged in the wild, and a poor man's pepper, which is a very small seed pod. So what we're doing now is getting the water boiling. I'm going to put the lid on it now just to bring the temp up a little bit quicker. You don't have to cook this open flame. You can do all of this at home right there in your kitchen. But if you choose to, try this method. So while we're waiting on our water to boil, we're going to go and get started cutting our vegetables. Always work on a clean surface. If you're going to cut meats, always cut your vegetables first. We're going to use a knife, and we're going to try to keep all of these vegetables uniform in size. And we're going to go ahead and get this cut. First time I had macaroni salad, I think I might have been, I don't know, knee-high to a grasshopper maybe. So I was real young. We grew up eating macaroni salad. It's one of those things, it's a staple in my house since a kid. And we had, especially in the summertime, it's always, just a good summer, when it comes to grilling. It's almost like around here, when you're grilling, you gotta have a hot dog. If you don't eat it, you still put a hot dog on the grill. So macaroni salad and baked beans was one of those things, staples, one of those go-tos that we always had. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and cut up our tomato. Remember, trying to keep everything uniform. But if you don't, it's fine. Not trying to be professionals here, we're just making dinner. I love tomatoes in mine. Love cutting them up small. It's like it's more concentrated in flavor to me. And I like getting it started, going ahead and mixing the salt, mayonnaise in it. Go ahead and get that started while I'm waiting on my macaroni to cook and then cool down. Just peel out the outer layers. You can make macaroni salad several different ways. Some people use Italian dressing, some use ranch. It's just whatever you like. Today, I'm just going with, my favorite, from being a kid, and we're just trying to add some poor man's pepper. It's got a pepperish back note to it, and it's really great, along with Dogfennel. Some people use onions, some don't like it. My wife tends to, when she makes macaroni salad, she fails to put it in, and I know there's always a missing ingredient for me, and I think it's because the kids, but I'm like, grow up a little bit, step out of the box and try something different. So now the kids, since they're a little older, they started liking it with onions as well. So if you notice, that pine needle fell in my bowl. You could leave it in if you choose to, but I'm just gonna take it out. Enjoying the cooking outside. So right here we have Dogfennel that was foraged. I'm just gonna cut it up small pieces. I'm only just gonna use just a little bit. I just wanna know it's there. So I wouldn't, advise you to use a big knife like this unless you feel comfortable with it. But just keep in mind, if you're going to use a knife like this or any knife, try to cut away from your hands. I mean, everybody keeps telling me, hey, knife skills or not, you still have 10 fingers. So everything we're doing, because it's 1 pound, we're just going to keep it half a vegetable, half cucumber, a whole tomato, half an onion. Trying to keep everything the same size. So now that I have everything in my mixing bowl, I'm gonna go ahead and crush some black pepper in here, keeping in mind that we still have poor man's pepper. I never was that interested as a child, but now the older I get, I just, I always say that there's a lot of amazing recipes is in the dirt. Add a little bit of salt. I don't know, we're gonna start off, we're gonna taste it. Maybe about a tablespoon, because macaroni does take a lot of salt. Mix this up, mixy. So while we're mixing this, we're just bringing out a lot of water. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of water coming out of the vegetables. And I always like making the macaroni salad or pasta salad, whatever you call it. I always like making it at least 2-3 hours before we sit down to eat. Okay, water's boiling. I always put about a tablespoon of salt in it. And I always use some oil. Today we're using olive oil. Maybe about a good tablespoon. So now that my water's boiling, I'm gonna go ahead and drop in 1 pound of macaroni. I used the elbow. You can use whatever you like. Drop that in there, and we're just gonna stir it to keep it from sticking. While my macaroni's cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and add the mayonnaise. So I don't measure, here's how I measure. I know what I'm doing here. I'm gonna say probably, we're gonna start off maybe a half a cup. Or cup. Let's get it mixed up pretty good. And then I'm gonna put this in the cooler and let it chill. One reason we chill it is to get all the flavors and the juices incorporated. And wait for this macaroni, because once it comes out of the hot oil, we're gonna try to cool it down just a little bit, because it will thin out the mayonnaise, and we're gonna put it right back in the refrigerator to try to get it reconstituted, if you will, and then take it out and just keep an eye on it. We may have to add more mayonnaise, but I think we're good right here. So I'm gonna put my lid on my bowl and just drop this down in the cooler. I'll be right back. So okay, we just took the macaroni off the fire. It's al dente, and it's just time to strain it. So I'm gonna try to strain it without dropping my, it's still boiling, still sizzling. I'm using cast iron here, and it holds heat good. Get all the macaroni out. Normally, if I was in the comfort of my own home, I would probably do an ice bath. Being I don't have ice with me out here in these 90-degree temperatures, I'm still going to try to cool it off just a little bit before I put the mixture in here. So I'm just going to try to cool it off, and I'm washing away some of the starch, because if you notice, a lot of people they rinse their macaroni off before putting it in the pot. I just go straight to the pot with it, then I'll rinse it off later. Now that our macaroni's drained, we're just gonna pour it into the bowl. Get every bit of it. I don't like losing a morsel of my macaroni. So our vegetables that we cut and put in our mayonnaise is right here. We're just gonna mix it all together. So we have mayonnaise, onions, cucumber, bell pepper, Dogfennel, and poor man's pepper in here. So we're gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it sit. Like I say, I like letting it sit for a good hour or two. But before I do that, I'm excited and I'm gonna taste it. Set the clock, because I could eat this in like 5 minutes. I'm ready now. So our mayonnaise is thin. We put it in the refrigerator. We're gonna let it cool off. And like I said, another 30, 45 minutes, hour, two if you will. The longer it sits, the better it is. I love it 2-3 days later. Okay, we're back with you. We just taken our macaroni that we had prepared, took it out of the cooler. It's been sitting for a couple hours, and we're just gonna mix it up. You see how the mayonnaise is a little bit thicker? It's not as runny as it once was. And you saw I've already tasted it while it was warm. Now I'm gonna taste it while it's cold. Perfect. I like a little bit of pepper. You don't have to use thick coarse pepper. I love it. And we're gonna mix it up again. So this macaroni salad could be used for anything from barbecues. I like eating it with baked beans, any kind of barbecue, especially in the summertime. It's a great, refreshing, cool dish, if you will. And I hope you try it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.